How one book changed the lives of millions. In 1908, a young journalist named Napoleon Hill was given a challenge that would change his life, and eventually, the lives of millions around the world. He was asked to interview Andrew Carnegie, one of the richest and most powerful men of the time. Carnegie, a steel tycoon who built an empire from nothing, believed that success wasn't random. He believed it followed a few simple, universal laws, and he wanted someone to study them. So he gave Napoleon Hill a mission. Study the lives of successful people. Find the patterns. Learn the rules of achievement. And teach them to the world. Hill accepted. And for the next 20 years, he interviewed over 500 of the most successful people in America, including Thomas Edison, Henry Ford, Alexander Graham Bell, and Theodore Roosevelt. From those interviews, he discovered 13 principles that all successful people shared. In 1937, he put them all together in one book. Think and Grow Rich. Today, it's one of the best-selling personal development books of all time. But it's not just about money. It's about how to turn a thought into reality. Let's walk through the story of this powerful book, in a way that's easy to understand, remember, and use in your own life. Profile. Quen 3235BA22B2507. 7:27 p.m. Certainly. Below is a clear, educational, and easy-to-understand narrative summary of Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, written in English, with approximately 4,000 words. This version breaks down the book's key principles in a storytelling format, making it accessible for beginners, students, or anyone interested in personal development and financial success. Think and Grow Rich, a simple, step-by-step guide to success. How one book changed the lives of millions. In 1908, a young journalist named Napoleon Hill was given a challenge that would change his life, and eventually, the lives of millions around the world. He was asked to interview Andrew Carnegie, one of the richest and most powerful men of the time. Carnegie, a steel tycoon who built an empire from nothing, believed that success wasn't random. He believed it followed a few simple, universal laws, and he wanted someone to study them. So he gave Napoleon Hill a mission. Study the lives of successful people. Find the patterns. Learn the rules of achievement. And teach them to the world. Hill accepted. And for the next 20 years, he interviewed over 500 of the most successful people in America, including Thomas Edison, Henry Ford, Alexander Graham Bell, and Theodore Roosevelt. From those interviews, he discovered 13 principles that all successful people shared. In 1937, he put them all together in one book. Think and Grow Rich. Today, it's one of the best-selling personal development books of all time. But it's not just about money. It's about how to turn a thought into reality. Let's walk through the story of this powerful book, in a way that's easy to understand, remember, and use in your own life. Chapter 1. Desire, the starting point of all achievement. Napoleon Hill begins with a bold claim. Whatever you can conceive and believe, you can achieve. That means, if you truly want something, and believe it's possible, you can make it happen. But most people fail because they don't have a burning desire. They say, I'd like to be rich. Or, maybe I'll start a business someday. That's not desire. That's a wish. Real desire is different. Imagine a man lost in the desert. He hasn't had water for 2 days. His throat is dry. His lips are cracked. He sees a mirage, a lake in the distance. At that moment, he doesn't want water. He needs it. His survival depends on it. That's the kind of desire you need for success. Hill says, the starting point of all achievement is desire. Set your goal. Know what you want. And want it so badly that you're willing to do whatever it takes. How to apply this? Write down your goal, not just, I want more money, but something specific. Example. I want to earn $10,000 per month from my online business by December 2025. Decide what you're willing to give up: time, comfort, bad habits, distractions. Read your goal out loud every morning and night. Feel it. See it. Believe it. Desire is the spark. Without it, nothing happens. Chapter 2, Faith, Believe it before you see it. Hill didn't mean religious faith, though that can help. He meant self-confidence, the belief that you can succeed. He noticed that every successful person he studied had one thing in common. They believed in themselves, even when no one else did. Thomas Edison failed over 1,000 times before inventing the light bulb. When asked about it, he said, "I didn't fail 1,000 times. I found 1,000 ways that didn't work." That's faith. Hill says, faith is the head chemist of the mind. It turns thoughts into things. In other words, if you believe you'll fail, you probably will. If you believe you'll succeed, you'll find a way. How to build faith. Use autosuggestion. Repeat positive statements every day. Example: I am capable. I am growing richer every day. I attract success. Surround yourself with positive people, not dreamers, but doers. Visualize your success. Close your eyes and imagine your life after you've reached your goal. See your home. Hear your voice. Feel the joy. Faith isn't magic. It's mental training. Chapter 3, Autosuggestion. Reprogram your mind. Your mind is like a garden. If you plant weeds, weeds will grow. If you plant flowers, flowers will bloom. The same is true for thoughts. If you keep thinking, "I'm not good enough," your mind will make that true. If you repeat, "I am becoming more successful every day," your mind will find ways to make it happen. Hill calls this autosuggestion, the practice of feeding your subconscious mind with positive, clear instructions. Your subconscious doesn't argue. It believes what you tell it, again and again. How to use autosuggestion. Write down your goal in present tense, as if it's already true. Example: I am earning $8,000 per month doing work I love. Read it out loud twice a day, morning and night, with emotion. Add a strong feeling to it. Don't just say the words. Feel them. This isn't positive thinking, it's mental programming. And it works. Chapter 4, Specialized Knowledge, Knowing What Others Don't. He'll notice something surprising. Some very smart people never become rich. And some people with little formal education become millionaires. Why? Because knowledge isn't power. Applied knowledge is power. You can read 100 books on business, but if you don't use what you learn, it won't make you rich. And you don't need to know everything. You just need specialized knowledge, deep expertise in one area that people are willing to pay for. For example, a plumber doesn't need to know how to run a hospital. He needs to know how to fix pipes. A writer doesn't need to be a scientist. She needs to know how to tell a story. Hill says, the world does not pay people for what they know, but for what they do with what they know. How to gain specialized knowledge. Identify your goal. What kind of wealth or success do you want? Find the skills needed. What do the top people in that field know? Learn from books, courses, mentors, or experience. Apply it immediately, even if you're not perfect. Knowledge is a tool. Use it. Chapter 5, Imagination, the Workshop of the Mind. He'll believe that imagination is more important than knowledge. Why? Because imagination is where ideas are born. He divided imagination into two types. 1. Synthetic imagination. Putting old ideas together in new ways. Example: combining a phone with a camera and internet, that's the smartphone. 2. Creative imagination. Receiving completely new ideas, like inspiration out of nowhere. This is where true innovation happens. Hill says, all achievement begins with an idea. Henry Ford didn't invent a car. But he imagined a car for the average person, and changed the world. How to use your imagination. Spend time every day thinking, no distractions, just ideas. Ask, what if? What if I offered this service online? What if I charged more and gave better value? Keep an idea journal. Write down every thought, no matter how small. Your imagination is your greatest asset. Use it like a scientist uses a lab. Chapter 6, Organized planning, turning dreams into action. A goal without a plan is just a dream. Hill found that every successful person had a clear plan, and they weren't afraid to change it when needed. He suggests two types of plans. 1. Your master plan. Your big picture strategy. Example: I will build an online course business and reach 10,000 students in 2 years. 2. Your daily plan. Small actions you take every day. Example: today, I will write 500 words for my course. And here's a powerful idea. Share your plan with a mastermind group, a small group of trusted people who support and challenge you. Hill says, no one succeeds alone. Even millionaires have advisors, coaches, and partners. How to make a plan. Write down your goal. Break it into steps. Set deadlines. Review your progress weekly. Adjust when needed. Plans fail, but people who plan succeed. Chapter 7: Decision, the ability to act with confidence. Hill studied hundreds of people who failed, not because they were lazy, but because they couldn't make decisions. They waited. They doubted. They asked too many opinions. The rich and successful? They decide quickly and change slowly. Hill says, the majority of people never make decisions. They wait to be pushed by circumstances. Think about it. The person who starts a business today has an advantage over the one who says, maybe next year. The student who chooses a career path at 20 will be far ahead of the one still wondering at 30. Chapter 8: Persistence, the sustained effort that leads to success. Most people give up too soon. They try something for a month. It doesn't work. They quit. But Hill found that persistence, continuing despite failure, was one of the top traits of the rich. He says, persistence is to success what the motor is to the car. Thomas Edison didn't invent the light bulb in a day. J.K. Rowling was rejected by 12 publishers before Harry Potter was accepted. Success doesn't come to those who are the smartest. It comes to those who keep going. How to build persistence. Remember your why. Why did you start? Surround yourself with motivated people. Track small wins. Progress keeps you going. Accept failure as feedback, not the end. Persistence isn't about never failing. It's about never quitting. How to make better decisions. Gather information, but don't over-research. Trust your gut. Your subconscious often knows before your mind does. Make the decision, and stick to it unless there's a strong reason to change. Indecision is the enemy of success. Decision is power. Chapter 9: The Mastermind, the Power of Collaboration. Hill didn't believe in the lone genius. He believed in the mastermind, two or more people working together in harmony for a common goal. This could be business partners, a mentor and student, a group of entrepreneurs who meet weekly. When minds come together, something powerful happens. New ideas appear. Problems get solved faster. Energy increases. Hill says, no two minds ever come together without creating a third, invisible force, a third mind. Think of Apple. Steve Jobs had the vision. Steve Wozniak had the skill. Together, they changed technology. How to build a mastermind group. Choose 3 to 5 trustworthy people with similar goals. Meet regularly, weekly or monthly. Share challenges, ideas, and support. Keep it positive and focused. You don't have to do it alone. Teamwork multiplies success. Chapter 10: The Mystery of Sex Transmutation. This chapter is one of the most misunderstood. Hill isn't talking about sex in the physical sense. He's talking about energy. He noticed that highly successful people often had a lot of energy, and they channeled their emotional and physical energy into their work. He calls this sex transmutation, turning powerful emotions, like desire, passion, or even frustration, into creative energy. For example, a musician uses heartbreak to write a great song. An athlete uses anger to train harder. An entrepreneur uses ambition to build a company. Hill says, the emotion of sex is the most powerful of all. When driven by a strong purpose, it can lift a person to genius levels. It's not about suppressing emotions. It's about redirecting them. How to use this? Notice when you feel strong emotions, excitement, passion, even jealousy. Instead of reacting, ask, how can I use this energy to move forward? Channel it into work, creation, or action. Energy misused leads to drama. Energy used wisely leads to greatness. Chapter 11: The Subconscious Mind, Your Silent Partner. Your subconscious mind is like the autopilot of a plane. It runs in the background, controlling habits, beliefs, and automatic behaviors. Hill says, feed your subconscious with positive thoughts, and it will work for you while you sleep. But if you feed it fear, doubt, or negativity, it will work against you. The good news? You can reprogram it. How? Through repetition and emotion. Every time you say, I am successful, with feeling, you're sending a command to your subconscious. It doesn't care if it's true yet. It just follows orders. How to work with your subconscious. Use autosuggestion, Chapter 3. Avoid negative self-talk. Listen to motivational audio while sleeping or driving. Visualize success daily. Your subconscious is always listening. Make sure it hears the right message. Chapter 12. The Brain, a Broadcasting and Receiving Station. This is one of Hill's most fascinating ideas. He believed that the brain is like a radio station. It broadcasts your thoughts and receives ideas from others. When you focus intensely on a goal, you send out a signal. And the universe, or other minds, sends back ideas, opportunities, and people to help you. Hill called this infinite intelligence, a source of wisdom available to everyone who asks. Have you ever had a sudden idea out of nowhere? Or met someone who had the exact solution to your problem? That's not luck. That's your brain receiving signals. How to tune in. Be clear about your goal. Ask for help, out loud or in writing. Stay open to ideas, even strange ones. Take action on inspiration. The more you focus, the stronger the signal. Chapter 13. The Sixth Sense, the Door to the Infinite. The final principle is the most mysterious, the sixth sense. Hill doesn't mean psychic powers. He means intuition, that quiet voice inside that says, do this, or don't go there. He believed that after mastering the first 12 principles, your mind becomes so sharp and aligned that you begin to receive guidance, ideas, warnings, opportunities, before they happen. Many successful people call it a gut feeling, a hunch, divine inspiration. Hill says, when you can see without seeing, hear without hearing, and know without being told, you have developed the sixth sense. It's not magic. It's the result of mental clarity, faith, and persistent action. How to develop it? Practice silence, meditate, walk, reflect. Pay attention to your feelings. Act on small intuitions, build trust. Keep a journal of hits and misses. One day, you'll know something, before you know why. Final thoughts: what rich really means. At the end of the book, Hill reminds us, rich doesn't just mean money. It means freedom to live how you want, purpose to do meaningful work, peace to sleep without fear, love to share your life with people who matter. Yes, money is important, but true wealth is balance. And the path to it starts in your mind.